Hiya friends, Prepared Suburbanite back at you. The bottom line, reading the news over the last couple of days has been very disappointing, I think. What I'm seeing is a pattern that the current administration, the Democrats in charge, are politicizing everything they can in order to influence the midterm elections that are coming up in 31 days, I believe, from today. Today's October 7th? Yep, October 7th, 2022, and we're a month away from the midterm elections. And I want to go over some of the things that I've seen over the last few days that lead me to believe that your tax dollars are being used to influence voters across the country, so stick around. Today's video is brought to you by potassium iodate. I suggest you go out and get yours ASAP. All right, first on the list is Biden's recent announcement just a couple days ago that he was going to be releasing more of our strategic petroleum reserves now that the OPEC plus countries have decided to reduce production by a couple million barrels a day. So by releasing more from our strategic reserves, taking us back to a very vulnerable stage on our strategic reserves back to 1984, I think. So we're talking 30 plus years, 40, almost 40 years. Not a good idea, but he wants to release more of the strategic oil reserves so that the price of gas that we pay at the pump is just a little bit tamed just before the midterm elections so that the Democrats can pat themselves on the back and say, look what we're doing to protect you. Look what we're doing to make life easy for you. Second thing that just popped up was the Decriminalization of Marijuana initiative that Biden just announced a day or two ago, where he wants to pardon, I think, 6,500 of those convicted of what they call simple possession of marijuana. He wants to pardon them all in his first step to decriminalizing at the federal level marijuana possession. I personally don't think that's a real darn good idea. Folks that broke the law, but it's very typical with this current administration that, just a month before the midterm elections, they're going to make this announcement as the first step in decriminalizing at the federal level possession of marijuana, use of marijuana, whatever of marijuana. And who's going to benefit from that? The Democrats, because who is the most prolific users of marijuana? Vulnerable college students and young adults. That's where the majority of the marijuana smoke is going right now. So by initiating this pardon of those already convicted of crimes, that's like, hey, vote for me, here we go again. And next up and right alongside this is the student loan forgiveness program. While it's been challenged here and there, the applications are already out there. Folks are going to start, those with qualifying student loans are going to start applying for the forgiveness, and it won't be long before that'll start getting granted before all these cases come to court. So who's going to benefit the most from that? College students, and guess how college students vote? They vote majority Democrat because they've been indoctrinated through our tax dollars by going to the colleges of their choice and receiving nothing but anti-American leftist indoctrination. So, by announcing this recently, just in time for the midterm elections, Biden and his administration have figured out a way to tip the scales on our voting rights. And the other thing, and bear in mind, this is legislatively indexed, but a 12.5% increase in food stamp benefits, which is under the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Yes, it's legislatively indexed to a portion of the inflation index as it relates specifically to food and food increases. So 12.5% increase to the population of folks that are on food stamps. They get a 12.5% increase. I'll bet you didn't get a 12.5% increase in your food budget this year, did you? But that's the way it goes. And just in time for the midterm elections. And who's on the food stamp program, the SNAP program? It's folks that traditionally vote for the Democrats. How about that? Now, I mentioned that today's video is sponsored by potassium iodate. That's the anti-radiation medications that you can pick up pretty much anywhere. I found them online. They're available. The pills are available on Amazon last time I checked. I think I got mine at a local prepping outfit right around here in central North Carolina. And we picked some up a couple of years ago because I was a little worried about little Kim in North Korea, and he's raised his head again. I have no idea what's coming, but knowing that the federal government is now investing money in anti-radiation drug therapies, and countries around the world are purchasing potassium iodate like crazy, I suspect with all the saber rattling going on right now in the Russia versus Ukraine thing, the China versus Taiwan, the North Koreans doing what they're doing, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm just going to recommend that if you can find potassium iodate, pick up a couple of bottles for your family and make sure you got it. Read the instructions, understand how it's to be used if you're exposed to radiation, and just trying to pass along helpful little information here. It's very difficult for me to find good news anymore in today's media to share with you from a prepping standpoint. So I thought I'd just start with the prepping standpoint and say, go get yourself some potassium iodate. This is the Prepared Suburbanite, reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see you all on the next video.